Obama is risking major defections from the Democratic Party, even as he approaches the midterm elections with his ratings in a horrible slump and his candidates looking like they're going to go down to defeat. The goal in the midterm elections is to hype your base so that it comes out and votes. And the big problem the Democrats have is that their voters tend to be poorer, more minority, less educated, and less likely to vote. And therefore they're more likely in a presidential race, but less likely in an off-year congressional race. And the question in their ranks is, how do we increase and gin up that turnout? Well, speaking of turnout, Obama has turned off two key elements of his coalition, the Latinos and the peaceniks. For the Latinos, he stupidly trumpeted for months that he was going to issue executive orders to end deportations and extend the protection he gave to DREAM Act children to all illegal immigrants. And then he came back from vacation, looked at the firestorm that had created, and on the pleadings of Democratic senators who largely come from states without large Hispanic populations, the ones that are marginal this year, Colorado is the only exception, he announced that he was not going to issue the executive orders. And he's gotten a firestorm of criticism in the Latino community as a result. The community itself was burned by Obama's decision in the first term when he had 60 votes in the Senate not to pass immigration reform. He could have passed anything he wanted, and he chickened out. Now they're finding him doing it a second time, and they're furious. The other is, of course, the peace movement, which was, after all, the inception of the Obama candidacy. This man who was elected for us to pull out of Iraq is now pulling us back into Iraq. And the whole school of thought that says that we should be isolationist, we should not be involved in other people's wars, even not isolationists, those reasonable people who say that what are we doing propping up yet another government in Iraq and sending in more resources. Eventually it'll lead to ground troops, undoubtedly. We already have 1,000 troops there. He added 500 on Wednesday night. And obviously, once we win, we'll be confronted with the same insurgency from the same Sunnis that we were fighting for a decade in Iraq before we pulled out. So those people are really beginning to reconsider their Democratic votes and their support for Obama. That's why his ratings on foreign policy have dropped to 32%, while his overall job rating is at about 40. That means that a lot of Democrats who vote for him on domestic issues like health care are defecting from him on foreign policy. And by elevating the importance of his foreign policy activity, he's elevating the importance of the issues they don't like him about. So Obama's really taking a big chance in this. But of course, it's a risk of his own making. Had he kept 10,000 soldiers in Iraq, we wouldn't have the problem we have with ISIS today. And don't forget, the reason he didn't is that he criticized McCain when he proposed doing just that. Well, McCain was right, Obama was wrong, and now it's coming home to roost. Thanks for watching.